So, talking about men and women with money, got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What does $55 million buy you today?
55 million. Well, it's certainly buy the rights to this podcast. That's one thing. No short of
Maybe about
55 million. So you can
15,000 of
own
these podcasts, if not more.
Sure. Absolutely. You could buy the rights to It Came from GenX and Convincing Idiots if you would like. Just contact us if you're interested in we'll negotiate
And
a
if you're
little
listening,
bit.
folks, I apologize. I'm having some technical difficulties with our video.
Yeah, it's gonna drop for a second. He'll be right back. So there he is.
There he is.
There you go.
I apologize,
there
folks.
There you go. That's all right. So what does 55 million get? Like I said, it gets rights to our podcast, gets you some nice stuff. But I'm guessing you're thinking of something else, though, what 55 million will get you.
I am. What that bought was a 17-day trip, originally set for 9, to the space station.
Oh, wow.
So, Larry Connor of Dayton, Ohio, a Canadian by the name of Mark Pathy, and an Israeli by the name of Eaton Stibbe.
Okay.
All returned safely to Earth today with a astronaut chaperone on one of the pods. They were originally supposed to be there for 9 days, but weather around here, as you know, we're snowing on Tuesday with a couple inches of snow, and then we're approaching 85 degrees on the weekend. So the weather's been pretty crazy. But yeah, they went up for what's supposed to have been 9 days to do a couple experiments to say, hey, we've been to space. Can't fathom this. I know we've talked about it in the past with, when we were kids. I was in junior high school when the shuttle blew up after takeoff. And I remember growing up as a kid as being an astronaut was like a superhero.
Mm-hmm.
They were higher than policemen. They were higher than firefighters. They were higher than being the president of the United States. Every kid had dreams of being an astronaut when we were young. I know I did for probably 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But it was there. Today, as long as you got $55 million to throw away, you can be an astronaut for a week. What the hell? I mean, I guess we saw it coming. Didn't think it would ever happen, that it would be this free to be able to do this unless you're trained. Like astronauts have been trained for years before they even step foot into a shuttle. But I'm mind blown by this. What's your thoughts on this? Am I out of my get off my lawn thinking on this, or is there something to it?
No, I don't know, man. It's just, certainly in our time, we saw it seemed like they were maybe trying to go that direction a little bit with the shuttle. And obviously we had the, unfortunate, terrible tragedy where the Challenger exploded with a civilian on board.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I envision the day where we would have, private flights up into space. I don't know. I mean, they've had a few of these now. I mean, fortunately, there's been no tragedy, so the technology and everything seems to be working properly. Heaven forbid something tragic does happen, and we have some folks that lose their lives over wanting to. But I guess that's a risk you take. I mean, it's just something you want to experience. You kind of know what you're getting into, and you take that risk. And there's certainly plenty of things to entertain yourself that come with risk. I don't know. It just seems like it's just, people with too much money. They don't know what to do with it, so they're going to experience something. But having said that, on the flip side, I'm sure would be an incredible experience, something that very few people have been able to actually do. And it's something that I'm sure we'll never, ever forget, certainly. And I don't know. It's just like, do folks have an obligation? That's where some people talk to. It's like, I have all these rich people going up into space. Should they be doing something different with their money to help those less fortunate and all that? Maybe they already do. And at the same token, what businesses of ours of people, if they have money, what the hell do we care what they do with it? I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, We kind of touched on that when we were talking about Michael Strahan going up with Bezos, and William Shatner went up, and those that went up for 11 minutes and came back down. Yeah, and that's the first thought is like, okay, you just wasted all this money. You could have saved it for the homeless or for this or that or another. And who's to say that they didn't put money towards doing something that they wanted to do, and then equal parts of money to a charity, so that they weren't just frivolously throwing money away.
Sure.
You know, you and I don't know what they've done on the sidelines, so we can't. While it's easy to think of it that way, it's also very easy to say, okay, and let's hope that they've put money aside or put money towards something else to equal, checks and balances with this.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine being wealthy enough to just throw $55 million away. I couldn't think of anything better than to go into space, truthfully. Even as a kid, like I said, I had aspirations of being an astronaut. Closest thing I got was being in the Air Force. So with that being said, it's a pretty remarkable. They got extra 8 or 9 days out there due to weather. So, I'd be curious to read what they have to say in the coming days, what they experienced, what they did, the experiments that they did, if they learned anything. I'll be curious to read up on this, and maybe I'll talk about it a little bit more in a future episode.
So would you do it? If you had the money and the resources, would you go up into space on one of these private flights like this?
Without question, I would. As long as I could, like I said, put money towards something of useful to others as a charity, I absolutely would do it in a heartbeat.
Okay.
I think my son would probably say the same thing. He's, in the background, but he would say the same thing if he had the opportunity was there. Absolutely. I'm fascinated with space. I'm fascinated with aeronauticals, being in the Air Force. It's just amazing how the Wright brothers started all this with the aircraft and where we've come to today, and what's still out there in the horizon that we don't even know about here as civilians. But the stuff that they're creating, that's just mind blowing.
Yep.
So
pretty amazing.